guys, welcome back to another session for Kiss My Badge. And today we have our esteemed guest, the Newcastle United FC Singapore Supporters Club.
Newcastle United Supporters Club Singapore, yep.
Yeah.
NUFC.SG, otherwise known as.
You guys want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. I'm Ashwin, part of NUFC.SG.
I am Hairul.
And I'm Terence.
And we make up Newcastle United Supporters Club Singapore, or otherwise lovingly known as NUFC.SG.
Oh, nice that you got the
we got this. This is our blanket for today. Always want to cover ourselves up.
No need to cover lah.
In the studio.
Very cold in the studio, eh?
When I came in, I saw, wow, got army, Toon Army.
Exactly, bro. Exactly.
But how come like coincidence that Arsenal lost, then they come in?
You invite what?
Invite.
Way before the
game.
About that, we actually have a gift from you, from all of us at NUFC.SG.
So excited.
And all Newcastle fans around the world. This is one plaster lah, bro.
Thoughtful lah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. We feel you. Our love is there for you, but we want you 1-0.
How come the plaster doesn't make it easier?
Maybe you need salon pass also.
It's more painful.
It covers the scar, but not the hurt.
Oh, not the shame.
Not the shame.
Okay, let's get straight into it. Let's talk about the game. It was okay. Honestly, I was confident that Arsenal would have won it because of your recent form. And suddenly it became 1-0. So, how do you guys find the game actually?
I actually thought the same as you. I was actually joking with friends that we're probably going to lose before the game started. When Isak scored, we were still saying we're going to lose 3-1. So it was, to me, it was a bit of a surprise, a pleasant surprise that we won, and I think we look convincing as well, because previous form didn't look like we were going to do it, but it was a good win. I think all of us fans will take it. I mean, even though the football wasn't played the way that I think a lot of our fans are used to in the last couple of seasons, but we'll take it.
But I agree, the way you all play this season, it wasn't so convincing. But you guys did draw with City.
Yeah. I think if you're looking at the Arsenal game as we were surprised. I mean, even the Gordon's cross in, that was something straight out from the 90s, right? You don't see those kind of crosses any longer. Those kind of climbing above every defender and heading the ball in, right? You don't see those goals any longer. So, Newcastle's form this season hasn't been. It's not a replication of the past 2 seasons, right? Especially the one season wonder where we finished fourth, right? We finished fourth. So, how we drew with City, how we won Arsenal, it doesn't baffle me. It's just that I think maybe at this stage we have a big game sort of vibe that comes in, and then we just push on. I think maybe we are at that stage at this point, probably. I don't know.
I think also Eddie Howe knows he's under pressure. How much we don't know, but I think he feels it. For the past couple of weeks, we are not doing well. We've not done well. Won Chelsea midweek Carabao Cup. But I still feel that he is under pressure. That's why for the past 4 or 5 games, it's been very defensive. Yes, we have been pressing high, but I guess all he wants is to stop leaking goals, and then the goals will come. Yeah, so I think it is something that we will continue to see. He still wants his job, I'm very sure. So he will attack every game, not losing instead of looking to win. For sure.
I got an opinion on Eddie Howe. Ever since when he came to Newcastle, right? I always keep saying that he is not like their first manager or the first choice manager for Newcastle. It's like the owners get him in to steady the ship, but he has been doing quite well, so he's staying as a manager. But do you think he's going to stay for a long period, or?
I think so. If you asked every Newcastle fan post takeover who they wanted as their choice, everybody would have. There were interviewees calling, in UK radio stations saying we want Eddie Howe. People laughing about it. I think Unai Emery was actually approached and he rejected the offer. But I think people, or let's just talk about the fans in Singapore, the supporters in Singapore. I think even though Eddie Howe was sacked because of his showings in Bournemouth at that in that season, right? I think we always knew Eddie Howe had something in him. If you look at Eddie Howe when he first started out with Bournemouth, and then he moved on to Burnley, and then he came back to Bournemouth, he brought them up into the Premier League. How he was faring in the Premier League, how he brought his group of players to play a certain type of football, right? For me, when Eddie Howe's name was thrown into the hat, I think I think this is the guy that can at least build us up for the next 6, 7, 8 seasons even. Was he? People say that he's a one-season wonder. I don't think so. I think he's building he's part of the project. He's building something good. Will he be the one to the Sir Alex Ferguson for Newcastle, where you stay 20 over years, or the Arsene Wenger? Maybe not. But at this time, I cannot think of anybody else but Eddie Howe.
At this moment, do you guys want him to stay?
Yeah.
I think it is a divided opinion as of now, whether or not Eddie Howe is the manager to bring us to the next level. But I think we are very realistic. I've been supporting the club since I was 5, 6 years old. Together with, they are also for 30 over years, right? We've been supporting the club. So we've been there. We know how hard it is to support the club. And I feel after the takeover, we have got to be practical. We cannot expect instant success, especially with current FFP, PSR, whatever you call it.
Blame City.
Yeah, so I think for now, yes, Eddie Howe is doing a good job. But again, whether or not he's the guy to bring us into Europe and consistently challenging a place there, that remains to be seen. But for now, for me personally at least, yes, I would still want him to stay.
So it's a masterclass against Arsenal, don't you think? Alan Shearer, I think, said that the cross was like those 90s kind of.
Yeah, he was the one that actually
said it, right?
Yeah.
So was it a lucky thing, or you guys feel that there was a plan?
I think there was a plan. I think you could tell from kickoff, right? Newcastle, I think Ashwin mentioned earlier, we pressed high, and tried to limit the space that Arsenal have to play football, because we all know that Arsenal play very brilliant football on the pitch, right? So we tried to press, we pressed and we tried to limit the spaces. So I think that worked. There was a plan there.
I think Arteta didn't think Gordon will play on the right. So when that switch happened, when Joelinton plays on the left, that for us, we know it is to counter the threat of Saka. We want to double team Saka with Lewis Hall.
Physical.
Yes, correct, right? So when Gordon moves over to the right, he will not be able to cut in, because the only thing he can do is cross the ball. So I think that was probably a conscious decision by Eddie Howe, putting Gordon down there to stretch that portion of the field.
Yeah, but if I may just add on to that, right? The funny thing is, we've actually tried playing Gordon on the right a couple of times this season. Didn't work out, but this game in particular, it just worked. So, yeah, it probably was a plan, but it also made you wonder why previous times it didn't work, but then it worked this time. Right?
Exactly. I mean, if you look at all the previous games, especially when you have Gordon and Barnes on the left, right? So if Barnes comes in, Gordon switch on to the right, and then he doesn't exactly deliver, right? So I think everybody was surprised that Gordon started out on that. Right, essentially. So, but I don't know. The cross was brilliant. The finish was brilliant, and the way we kept everything level-headed in the game. Maybe
the thing is, you guys can defend. Right? Last season, you guys had a really dogged defense, and against City, you all were really defending with your lives. I think you defended harder against City compared to against Arsenal. But in our defense, I think we miss Odegaard. Odegaard, please come back fast. I thought you would have come back during this Newcastle game.
He's training already, so I think they don't want to risk him.
And Saka, of course, he can't do much by himself.
Yeah.
And Martinelli, I feel that he's a bit off this season.
Yeah.
But who else can cover him? Trossard, I feel that he's like Steven Tan. He is only effective as a sub. I don't know. That's what I feel. I feel whenever Trossard start, he does score, but somehow he's not as effective as compared to a super sub.
He's no Odegaard lah, basically lah.
He's Trossard is no Odegaard.
Because I think Arteta was trying to play him similar to Odegaard style, right? Like connecting the flanks and middle and all that.
But it's not that kind of player.
Yeah, he's not that kind of player.